Round 10, the circus moves on to Croft. And as Honda start to tighten their grip on this championship, some of the youngsters start to show a little bit of mettle.
Pole position then for Cal Crutchlow, making history on the Rizzler Suzuki. Superb for the rookie superbiker. Jonathan Ray, Leon Haslam and Tom Sykes join him on the front row. Sykes is also the standout on that row. Tommy Hill, Gregorio Lavia, Ryoichi Kiyonari and Leon Kamiya are familiar on row 2. The nerves are jangling for young Cal Crutchlow. This is his big day here at Croft, a track that he's never had that much success on. This man though, Jonathan Ray, fellow youngster, coming through to try and take the lead in this championship as he can, as his teammate Ryoichi Kiyonari is back on the second row. But Leon Haslam will be strong here, and Tom Sykes could be the fly in the ointment. They're away, great launch from the Rizzler Suzuki, but who's it going to be? Down to turn 1, Jonathan Ray on the HM Plant Honda, and his teammate off the second row goes into third place and drops in behind Crutchlow on the 35 bike. So 4 it is Jonathan Ray that leads. Aaron Zanotti in the mix on the 64 machine, but it is Jonathan Ray leading from Cal Crutchlow, from Ryoichi Kiyonari, from Tom Sykes. 20 laps this race. Neil McKenzie, good to see it dry. Kamiya out on a wide line there.
Cal Crutchlow, great start. If Cal's at the weak point this year, it's been not so much his start, but his opening lap. He's ended up back second, third row, and he's really struggled to get through the field. He was coming through the field at Mallory Park, but look at this, second place for Cal Crutchlow. I'd expect him to stay here throughout the race.
He was magical on a super sports machine. If you remember, he is the British super sports champion, and he did things with a super sports bike that used to take your breath away. And if you can translate that to the super bike, we are going to see something very special in the future from Cal Crutchlow. Second place at the moment. We said the same kind of things about the man leading, Jonathan Ray. Oh, through has got Kiyonari, pinched it as he came through the complex. That's experience that gives him that kind of positioning. He just found himself in that bit of the track. Kiyonari dives under Cal Crutchlow and chases after his teammate. HM Plant Honda's 1-2. Rizzler Suzuki on the 35 of Cal Crutchlow in third place at the moment. Then it's the Stobart Vent Axia Honda of 66, Tom Sykes, from 36, Gregorio Lavia on the Airwave Ducati. Well, no new lap record from Jonathan Ray, but his personal best lap has just been laid down around the Croft circuit. 1 minute 20.364, comparing with 1:19.898 of Haslam. So Jonathan Ray, he's doing his quickest lap so far. Do you see where Cal Crutchlow was then? Just like his super sports days, the other side of the white line. You really shouldn't be able to do it and stay on.
Millimetres from the grass there. Lavia's charges seem to slow down. He's right on the back of Crutchlow, but he doesn't seem to be able to do anything about passing him.
I reckon he just breathed in a bit when he saw Crutchlow the other side of the white line, because anybody else would have been on the grass. God, really, I'd say what they are on it at the moment.
They certainly are a real good six-way battle here. I wonder if traction control and the Airwaves Ducatis will come into play towards the end of this race when the tyres start to lose a bit of traction.
Better have a quick look down to the Superbike Cup boys. Marty Nutt leads that on the 77 machine from Paul Barron, on the 27 machine from the 94 bike of Tristan Palmer. That's your top 3 in the Superbike Cup. But it's the Bennett's British Superbike Championship proper. It is a 6-way battle for the lead here at Croft. Thank heavens it dried out at Croft, because this is spectacular. And we're not even halfway yet. These guys are going to be duking it right to the very wire.
Not close enough, Keo.
He looked like it for a minute. I mean, we both held our breath.
Wow, Jonathan Ray is such a good supermoto rider, and he's taken these skills to Superbike, to British Superbike. And you see just backing in the rear end of that bike, dead happy, and Kiyonari, there's no way he's going to get alongside him on the brakes.
Look at those times. They were all, the front 4 were all on personal bests on that last lap. You know, the front 4 riders here, Ray, Kiyonari, Crutchlow and Lavia, are all on their personal best laps. It's still not as good as Haslam's lap, but Haslam's still back in 6th place. Shane Byrne not getting on well.
Keo underneath Jonathan Ray.
Absolutely. So Ryoichi Kiyonari snatches the place. He's been practicing that one for the last 7 laps. Kiyonari eventually sticks it underneath Jonathan Ray to take the lead then. for the first time as we start lap 9 of 20, and he looks quick, doesn't he?
Already.
Straight away.
Kiyonari is really good at this, and he really tries to put the hammer down. If he does make a pass, you can see here.
Lined up on the complex and just blast it straight under him. I think Jonathan Rea took a wider line into the hairpin on that occasion than he has done on a couple of other occasions, you know, and I think it gave Kiyonari the opportunity. You
don't have to give him too much of a gap, but Jonathan Rea's fighting back into tower there, but he's going to lose time. He's going to run wide on the exit, and Kiyonari is going to pull away.
He's going to lose the front of the motorbike if he carries on like that. He's got to settle himself down and follow Kiyonari for a few laps. I think Kiyonari is the faster man. He's going to drag Jonathan Rea around. It's whether Jonathan Rea can repay the compliment towards the closing stages. He looks good out here, Jonathan.
He's digging in Jonathan Rea, but Kiyonari's nice and neat, nice and tidy. Jonathan Rea will have to, just like you say, if you can just follow him for a few laps, you'll see where Kiyo was faster than him, where he was able to catch him. But the pace at the front is much hotter now. Kiyonari's digging in, Jonathan Rea's responding. I expect to see both these guys into the 19th when they cross the start-finish this time.
Crutchlow third, we're talking about on the Rizla Suzuki. And I say that with no shame. There was a time when people thought we mentioned Rizla Suzuki a little too much, but of course they were a little bit too much back then. They were doing all the winning. Of late, it's all been about black bikes and red bikes.
It certainly is. Tommy Hill moved up position. He's managed to get past Chris Walker on the other Rizla Suzuki. The Virgin Media Yamaha, and Pirelli's doing a good job today, and Tommy Hill looking really good after his fantastic ride in Supersport last weekend at Brands Hatch.
And James Buckingham and Tom Tunstall have now come up to second and third in the Superbike Cup scrap that's going on behind these guys. Marty Nutt still leads that on the nuttravel.com 77 machine. He's back in 17th place overall, but leads the Superbike Cup. So Marty Nutt again looking for another 25 points. Meanwhile, this battle is running and running. Lap 13 of 20. It's kind of, you're just waiting again. Crutchlow right out on the white line. He's the only man able to or willing to put that motorbike right out there in the danger zone.
Yeah, but lap after lap, and very confident, very accurate, hitting the spot every single time. You see Jonathan Rea backing it into turn one. Carl Crutchlow homing in a little bit on the brakes, but keeping things in line.
Johnny Rea put in his personal best last time round as they crossed the line, 1:20.122. So Johnny Rea again putting in quick times.
Here comes Tom Sykes.
Sykesy having a look. There he is, 66 Sykes. He's not over for him yet either, is it?
No, I mean, on the last lap, out of the top six, he was the fastest man on the track.
1:20.018, you're right. Only just, though. We're splitting hairs, really, aren't we?
We are. Mind you, if you win by that margin, it's enough.
Yeah, if you finish second by it, though, it's a real pain.
Tom Sykes! Whoa!
Up the inside goes the Stobart Venaxia Honda.
No, Haslam went
wide. Haslam out wide on the dirty stuff there. And I'll tell you what, I thought Crutchlow was going to manage to find, well, a millimetre to stick that Rizla Suzuki up the inside of Sykes and bat him straight back. Oh, look at Carl Crutchlow and Tom Sykes. How many times did we see that in Supersport? Now we're getting it in Superbike. It's just a whole lot faster and a whole lot harder in this class. Let's take another look at it, Neil.
Into tower. Tom Sykes got a nice run out the back straight. In the slipstream with Carl Crutchlow. Meanwhile, Haslam goes over the oil.
I think he got sucked in. All eyes are focused on the front of the Bennett British Superbike field as they come through the complex for the second last time to start the last lap. Crutchlow out wide. That's going to be about holding on to it, Cal. Don't make a mistake now. This is a great ride from Cal Crutchlow. Best points he's scored so far this year are 11. And right now, he's sitting on, whatever it is, 16. No, 13.
16th if he's third, 13th if he's
13
fourth.
for fourth, thank you. We're on the last lap. Chris Walker and Shane Byrne. One ex-World Superbike man and Grand Prix man. That's, of course, Shaky. I should say
both?
Walker. Yeah, both of them, actually. Yeah, they've both been World Superbike and MotoGP. Well,
what was 500
Grand Prix in that case, yeah.
For half a season.
Splitting hairs again. Final lap. Kiyonari out front. Barring a mistake, he's got this run and won on the number one HM plant bike. But his teammate now, well, having held that second place all the way, he's obviously looking to try and break the toe on Tom Sykes. Tom Sykes, though, has got the big problem of Cal Crutchlow. A little earlier in the commentary, you might have remembered we mentioned that Cal Crutchlow was a last lap man, and he will be looking to force his way up the inside. He's coming around the outside now into the complex. Not close enough. Will he squirt it down to the hairpin? Through goes Kiyonari. Oh, this is going to be a drag race to the line. Look at the way Cal Crutchlow's lining himself up. Kiyonari wins the opening Bennett's British Superbike race. Tom Sykes, his teammate, second. Sorry, Johnny Ray, his teammate second. Tom Sykes on the Stobart bike in third place. Meanwhile, the Walker versus Shaky session goes to the line. Chris Walker's going to take it, but really that's very little consolation for him, and even less for Shane Byrne. It's going to be a nail-biting part two then for the British Superbike race as they come under orders now. And Cal Crutchlow gets a great launch on the Rizza Suzuki, but will it be Johnny Ray again into turn one first? Yes, it is. Tom Sykes comes through on the Stobart Vent Axia Honda, but drops into third place. Kiyonari balked back in fourth or fifth. Oh, I'm pushing and shoving. Tommy Hill's got in front of him. Chris Walker has got in front of him. So Kiyonari with a load of work to do as it is at the moment. Jonathan Ray, though, on bike number 4 leads from Cal Crutchlow on 35 from Dom. Oh, down has gone Kiyonari. Oh, no, it's not Tommy Hill, sorry. It is Tommy Hill that's launched himself up and over the top. And that was a real egg beater of a crash. Tommy Hill's a tough young man, but that will have tested him for sure. Tommy Hill then launches over the top right in the middle of the pack, and I'm amazed, Neil McKenzie, that no one else went down with him,
Great
particularly
start for Tommy,
Kiyonari.
right behind Leon Haslam, and the left side of the tyre just kicked out there.
And it was
down.
Kiyonari who manages to miss him. I nearly got the two mixed up. They were that close at the time. Kiyonari manages to get out of it. Tommy Hill is winded, will be hurt, and we may just have a safety car launched here. We'll take a look at it. Number 8, Faller at chicane. It says rider okay on our monitor. I beg to differ with that as it is at the moment, because he doesn't look that happy. He's going to get up, but that is pain. Here we go, on board then. We're on with Kiyonari, and this is where... Oh, dear me. That's from Walker, actually. That's from Chris Walker on the Rizza Suzuki. As the rest fly through, Walker lost a lot of time there due to that. Well, Kiyonari was the luckiest man out of that lot as they come to the end of lap 1 alongside me, Neil McKenzie, and it couldn't have got much more eventful.
Yeah, Tommy Hill dazed a bit there, and of course there goes the left-hand side of the tyre. This is the right-hand circuit. The majority of corners are right-handed, and that left-hand side of the tyre maybe a little bit cool. Pirelli tyre, it was a harder tyre than he used in the first race, and maybe that was the crucial factor, but unfortunately for Tommy, he's out of this one.
Will they do it? Yeah, that was lovely. That was lovely. Block pass on Haslam, stuffed it underneath him. No way back for Haslam as soon as Kiyonari hit that apex.
Haslam just a tiny bit wide there at the last corner. Kiyonari went scarily close to the white line, and we just know these can be slippy, especially when it's moist.
Haslam did say having a bit of difficulty turning that bike in the tight stuff. I think that proved it.
Certainly, yeah, Kiyonari is the expert of that. Very nimble bike. He has his handling very nimble. He has that bike up to steer very quickly. And
Take another look at
into
it.
the last corner. Haslam's in a little bit wide. Kiyonari's extra tight. Actually touched the white line, I reckon. And lucky, he could so easily gone down there if it had been a little bit down.
Oh, hand up. I don't know whether that was an apology or not. Maybe.
Apology to Haslam, I think.
Indeed,
there.
yeah.
He knew he was a bit close, but didn't look too bad from where we were looking.
He's a polite young man, is Ryoichi Kiyonari. Delight to have in the British Championship. Lap 4 of 20 at the moment. Lavia, the quickest man out there, 120.069 on lap 3. So Gregorio Lavia, the Spaniard, there he is, on the back, on the airwave Ducati.
See that airwave Ducati just going over the bumps into Sonny in there. And Lavia, in race 1, he also set the fastest lap early on, and we thought it was a good old Lavia charge coming through the field, but then he got up to 5th, got up to 4th, and then dropped back to 6th, so it didn't quite happen for Gregorio. Maybe they made a change in the second race.
Oh, look at this.
What?
Kiyonari just loves that. 2 places.
Hey?
2 places.
2 places.
Unbelievable. In one hairpin.
On the slowest corner of the track. Cheeky monkey.
I wonder if he'll understand that very British of phrases. 2.1250 miles per lap, and let's take another look at this.
Possible.
Number 1 aims at the apex and fires it up underneath Crutchlow, underneath Sykes, and the 2 youngsters given a riding lesson by Kiyonari.
Oh, well, I mean, that is just so cute. Such a nice little pass there. They were on the conventional line. No one did anything wrong, but Kiyonari, opportunist as he is, on that bike, the way it
we
turns,
talked
just
about
fantastic.
we talked about it earlier with Crutchlow, didn't we? The way he's investigating all routes around this racetrack and changing it to suit the circumstances. And Kiyonari there really saw a gap, knew what his Honda could do, had the confidence, stuck it up the inside.
That was it. Knew what his Honda could do. And the others, it's pretty much for them just a corner to get through. There's not really any passing opportunities, but Kiyo, he could see an opportunity and he was through. And
2 of them.
he's come from 6th position to 2nd position in a couple of laps.
Couldn't bet against him, could you? Whoa, he goes up the inside, goes Kiyonari. Kiyonari takes his teammate just keeps the power pinned in there and sticks it underneath Jonathan Ray. So supremely confident.
Haslam nearly took his teammate out there. He did touch him. He went down the inside of Olivier.
That is going to be trouble at mill. So, Leon Haslam. Well, you call it. I don't want to.
Yeah, you just see him here, just nips down the inside, sees a chance, but Olivier closes the door on.
Oh, big off for Chris Walker. Chris Walker's gone down. Carl Harris as well. Well, I wouldn't want to fight with Carl Harris. Mind you, I wouldn't want to fight with Chris Walker, even though he's smaller than me. We're on board with him. Out through the left-hander. Chris Walker's back on. Carl Harris cannot get back on. Carl Harris has had so much bad luck with that corner. That is the corner that Haslam beat him to thwart his first ever Superbike race win here at Croft before. Let's take another look at it.
Not quite sure what happened here.
Well, we're going to see in a minute. Already. Chris Walker stuffed it under him by the look of that to me. Chris Walker got underneath Carl Harris. Let's have a look at it. Walker goes for the inside and bashes him out the way.
Oh, not good. Yeah, unfortunate. A lot of action at that corner, really slow corner, 25 mile an hour for these superbikes, slowest corner on the racetrack, lots of action.
I think it says it all really though, doesn't it, about the passing possibilities here at Croft. It just isn't easy to pass, so they're all taking an opportunity at the slowest corner on the track. But look at Camia, you're right, he's a believer. Sparks flying off of the Spaniard in front of him. I don't know whether Gregorio Olivier is quite up for this kind of duel.
I think he is.
Oh, he is, you're right. Oh, I tell you, lucky not to lose that front end then. So lucky then. Feathered that front all the way into the hairpin.
What a corner.
What a corner.
Olivier and Crutchlow, elbow to elbow into turn one. Crutchlow just seems to have the grunt, but Olivier's got the line.
This time round, certainly the Rizla Suzuki was about to outgrunt the Ducati as it did the lap previously, but Olivier had the run this time onto the straight and managed to keep the momentum into the passing zone into Hawthorn.
Well, when Olivier's in fighting mood, when he's peckers up, if you like, he is...
For want of a phrase.
He is dangerous.
Halfway there, 10 of 20. Camia now beats up Cal Crutchlow. You're right, he's a believer. Crutchlow straight back at him though. Nice move.
It's such a tricky corner that, because it is quite easy to outbrake someone into it, but it tightens up and it's difficult to get out the other side. Jonathan Ray's got off the hook. He's been let loose a little bit here. Colin Wright with a smile on his face.
Paul Bird and Tom Sykes' girlfriend to the left there, Amy Hackett. Got a lot to smile about this weekend. Birdie went his own route with these Hondas a couple of years ago. It's working out for him now.
Tom Sykes, nice sideways drift out of Sonny out there.
Got some style, hasn't he, Sykesy? And one of the nicest guys in the paddock. Oh, look at Olivier. Olivier's going to be a passenger on... Oh, down has gone Crutchlow. Crutchlow has shot himself out of this race. What a disaster for Cal Crutchlow. Well, try as you might.
Both Rizla Suzuki's crashing out.
All around the same hairpin area as well. Let's take another look at it.
I'm not quite sure what happened. It looked like rider error.
Yeah, he might have... Oh. I don't know whether he tripped himself up going in there. Funny part of the course. I don't know whether he had who was around him at the time.
It's a runner.
Might have been Camia that was thereabouts with him as well. Perhaps he tripped himself up over the back end of Camia trying to make a pass into there. I can only guess because we couldn't see it.
He did go wide there in the lap before when Olivier got past him.
So, Jonathan Ray. Well, I won't say off the hook because you'll only laugh at me. Tom Sykes is still right there, but Olivier is relentless on the Airwaves Ducati. Superbike Cup, James Buckingham still leads by a long way from Marty Nutt in second place and Tom Tunstall in third place, Malcolm Ashley in fourth place and Paul Barron in fifth in the Superbike Cup privateers battle that's going on. Half a lap behind these guys at the moment. These are the full factory men with all the money, all the tyres, and apparently great futures.
Tom Sykes, through that.
He's good, isn't he?
That exit there, he just uses every inch of the track. He definitely makes up time on Jonathan Ray there. Through Sonny out here, Tom Sykes sliding out of there, that bike working perfectly. Camia
seemingly not being able to do anything with his position on the bike, animal bike. Is that, you think, down to the way that he's got it set up? He did say that it looked a bit soft in places.
Yeah, compared to Tom Sykes' Honda just seems to be on rails everywhere. He can ride it really hard, he can do anything he wants with it. Whereas Leon Camia just seems to need to be a bit careful. He closes in some parts of the racetrack, and other parts of the racetrack he's seeming to struggle. Haslam's in touch with Camia now, even closer on this lap, using every inch of the track through this first section onto the back straight.
He's been there for a while, though, hasn't he, Haslam? He's been thereabouts behind Kamiya. Kamiya just dropping off the back of Gregorio Oliveira on the 36 machine, but Haslam really, he's got to put in a concerted effort. The Ducatis just don't look fast around here.
They're just not, it's just not happening for them this weekend. They don't get off the line, they don't get into the first corner as good as the four-cylinder Japanese bikes, and they seem to be struggling. I think it's the outright horsepower that the Japanese bikes have got.
Oh, Tom Sykes, you're a hero. Drops it on the concrete off the main tarmac. Almost jumps it back on. Never seen anything quite like that, to be honest.
It's been making me nervous, more and more nervous every lap he comes through. They're using more and more of the track.
Let's take another look at this as he chucks it on the right-hand side.
Exit of Jim Clark Hessie's. What? He didn't back off, did he?
Not at all, just kept it pinned. Fantastic.
Levia's closer on the last lap. Levia stuck another personal best lap in, so he's even closer.
19.860.
A different story.
Well, we've seen Levia at this point on the track willing to make a pass. A podium would be quite something to rescue, I think, for the Airways Ducati man. To force Tom Sykes off a bit, though. Kiyonari already well and truly on his last lap. Haslam tries to make a pass on Kamiya, but fails on the brakes into Hawthorne. Jonathan Ray still safe in second place on the number 4 machine. This is the battle for 5th place. Haslam is 6th, Kamiya is 5th on the number 2, BikeAnimal.com Honda.
Jonathan Ray just stuck in his first 1 minute 19 of the race on this penultimate lap. Very impressive.
He is very impressive, and he did that in race 1, put in some real cracking laps right at the end when we were questioning him whether he could be caught in the closing stages. The only thing that's going to muck him up, of course, is the odd back marker. Malcolm Ashley moves to one side, the gentlemanly he is. Last lap, Kiyonari already well and truly on his way. Oh, Kiyonari forces it under Malcolm Ashley. Through comes Haslam as well. Great stuff from these two. Kiyonari, Ray, Sykes, Levia, Kamiya, Haslam. Shaky Burns still 7th. Michael Rutter still 8th. That's a vast improvement on the 13th he had in race 1. So obviously the kick in the pants that Rutter had might have done him a bit of good.
Levia into the last corner. Not close enough.
Kiyonari already on his way to the checkered flag. It's going to be Jonathan Ray in 2nd place. 3rd place will be Tom Sykes for the 2nd time today. It was his debut Superbike podium in race 1. Now he's made it a podium double. So Tom Sykes a hero. Colin Wright always appreciates a good race. At least both bikes came home this week. And after 2 races here at Croft today, 348 points. He's extending his lead race by race over Jonathan Ray, his teammate. 322 for him. Leon Haslam on 288 now. Gregorio Lavia on 269, closing in on his teammate. Shane Byrne 244. Sykes on 203. It's been a great day for him. Leon Kamiya on 199. Chris Walker on 165. Tommy Hill, what a disaster for him. We'll try and bring you news of Tommy a little later in the programme. 116 points. Carl Harris 107. Cal Crutchlow only 101 now. He'll be disappointed about that. Michael Rutter 78. Scott Smart 67. Sadly, Ollie Bridewell will of course slip down the order as the days go by. 56 points for him. That'll be a number everyone will remember. Simon Andrews 42. Dean Thomas 35. Another Superbike race, another champagne celebration for Honda here. 1, 2, 3, 2 HM Plant Hondas and 1 Stobart Vent Axia Honda. Kiyonari is king of Croft.